We back, man. We back with this Alec Murdoch. We gonna do the first little. We're gonna do the finish up of the last video with the police interrogating him inside their car. Remember, they didn't got his phone. You know what I'm saying? They didn't got. I guess they asked for they asked for his phone records or whatever. We're gonna finish up this interview, and then we're gonna go to the interrogation video at the police station. So let's get right into it.
So I made a few phone calls, and
Where was Buster?
Buster was in Rock Hill.
Okay. Is that where he lives, or?
No, he lives in Columbia, but he just started a new job. He's going back to law school in January.
Okay.
So he's working a little part-time job with Wild Wings through January.
Gotcha.
You know, just kind of killing time. And he was in, his girlfriend lives in Rock Hill. She's studying for the bar exam, so he had to be in Charlotte, so he was staying with her in Rock Hill, her and her mom.
Okay.
Can I open the store?
Yes, sir. So.
All right, so where are we? All right, so then I
You
left
your
my mom's.
and making phone calls.
I left my mom's, and I went back home. I got to the house. I went inside. Nobody was there. I got in the car. I went back to the kennels, and you know.
And when you went back to the kennels, besides Maggie and Paul, did you see anybody, any cars?
I didn't see anything right then, no sir.
Take your time.
You know, I saw Maggie and I saw Paul laying down. I knew, you know, I didn't know, you know, I knew it was bad. I went over there and, you know, I saw it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I called 911.
Okay. And, yeah, what made you decide to go back to the house and get a gun?
Yeah, I just think the whole scene had me freaked out.
Okay. Did you take your car back up there, or did you run up there?
No, I drove.
Okay. And of course, the shotgun that we have is the one you brought back.
They were asking me earlier. I'm not sure which one it was.
Jim, it was a 12 gauge. I know, yeah, Ronnie had a question if it was 12 or 20. It was a 12 gauge.
And it was that camo, don't it?
Yes, sir. I think it was the 12 Camo Vanelli.
I think so. But that's about all you got, Vanelli, other than
And we talked about this a little bit the other night too. I know Paul had been getting some threats and getting some being assaulted from, you know, the boat. Who stands out in your mind, besides the boat incident, who stands out in your mind that...
I wonder what's this boat incident. I know his son got into a boat accident. But why would he be getting threats for that? That don't really make sense.
come after Paul and or Maggie?
I mean, sir, I can't think of anybody who would want to go to that extreme. You know, I mean, he got a bunch of threats, mostly from, you know, I mean, I have no idea.
How would he receive those?
He don't know where the threats are coming from. But last time he said the threats, he said he knew the threats was the ones that was did it. In the original video, he was like, I'm sure it has something to do with the boat accident. But now he's saying he don't know who's threatening him.
Those threats?
What do you mean?
I mean, would
What's
people
up, bro?
call and hang up on them, or
No,
send them text,
no, it
or
wasn't so
social
much
media?
that. No, it was mostly like in-person confrontation.
Hey, I did
Or the
that
ones
video
that
you
I
asked for,
learned
too.
about. Now, I suspect his friends can probably tell
Hey,
you
that
about
shit-
more, because I doubt
that was
Paul told
bad.
me about all of them.
Okay.
It was messed
But I
up,
knew about a
man.
lot of them. You know, there were a lot of times where people would come up to him and he'd be like, they'd say something about, you gonna tell me who was driving that boat, or you little piece of shit, were you driving that boat? Stuff like that.
Okay. Who did he go to Charleston with on the boat that weekend?
I don't know exactly. I know that, I know who his buddies are, but specifically who was on the boat with him, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I can give you a list of names of who it probably was.
So, Joe, I don't know if you want me to weigh in here and put your pens down, but a good buddy of mine's son went fishing with me yesterday out in the ocean, and he has a best friend, and his dad's name is Lee Chapman, but
Yeah.
the kid said, Lee's son said that Paul slept on his couch in Charleston 2 nights before he was murdered. So it's Lee Chapman's son. I can get his name. You probably know Lee's son. I don't know, but he goes to the Citadel, but that's where Paul was.
Okay.
And I learned that yesterday out on a fishing trip with his I have to standard.
Cool. I mean, yes, sir. If you could give me Lee Chapman's son's contact information.
There was a bunch of Chapman cousins that Paul was very close with. The closest one being Wills Chapman and Frank Chapman.
Wills Chapman's his name, but I'll get your number for you.
And Frank is John Chapman's son, and Wills is Lee Chapman's son.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's where he was.
And those boys are, they're just really good boys and friends of Paul's.
And one of them is Wills with an S, right?
That's right.
And Wills goes to the Citadel. That's true, understand?
No, he's graduated from
He
the Citadel.
graduated from okay.
And Frank was in the Citadel, but I think he had some kind of, academic troubles. But I'm telling you now, I can promise you that, those boys love Paul.
Well,
It's absolutely.
well, I just want to talk to them about their weekend and
Sure.
Yeah.
I can tell you this, in riding around with Paul, he was his normal bright, just, he was a really great kid.
So, being a dad myself, what was the biggest issue you had with Paul? When you had to call him down and scold him or correct him, what was the biggest issue you had with Paul?
Irresponsibility. He was ADHD. He was bad about jumping from, and he had so many wonderful qualities now, but he was bad about jumping from, he'd start this, maybe not quite finish it, do something else. And, you'll find out from his friends, he had clothes strung out all over the state. He did that with clothes, he did that with guns, he did that with my boats.
Lost.
So.
You lost what?
He would misplace stuff or
Okay.
leave stuff behind, right?
Yes, everywhere. He would go off for the weekend. Sometimes he wouldn't pack clothes because he's got clothes in somebody's house. Paul was one, he wouldn't understand how you go out, you and a girl go out on a date. He liked the crowd.
And who was his girlfriend?
He didn't have a girlfriend right now.
Okay.
Last time I talked to him was like 2 weeks ago. Although we texted, he was going to Greenville for the weekend. He had friends up there, girlfriend up there.
No, we had a family thing in Greenville, and he came up, Paul didn't play golf. He came up on Friday and stayed Saturday, and then he left to go to Charleston, and we stayed another day to play golf.
I thought maybe he had a girl.
My niece on my wife's side is having a baby, and we went out for that.
And you said on Monday Maggie had a doctor's appointment in Charleston. And I know we talked about this on Monday. Do you recall the doctor that she went to, or for what the reason was?
Maggie had a couple little things going on, and I personally think she was going to see Dr. Gordine, but I'm not positive.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's who it was. I can find out
Yeah.
specifically though. Her mom will know.
Okay. And you said she and Buster were at the ball games all weekend?
Yes.
Was that
With me.
with you? At what ball games?
Carolina Regional.
They didn't make it past those, did they?
No.
All right. Paul was in Charleston, so he didn't hang out with y'all that weekend.
No, sir.
And what time did Maggie get back home Monday night?
It was after Paul and I had gone. She was not there when Paul and I left to go mess around.
Okay.
So, you know, it was sometime after that. So there was a point when, you know, she got back, we got back.
When y'all got back from riding around and messing around on the farm, was she home or?
Yes.
Okay.
But, so, and I don't believe she'd been home too long when
And what's her car? That Mercedes that's out there?
yes, sir.
Okay.
And you said Bianca had prepared dinner that night.
Yeah, Blanca cooked dinner that night because Maggie cooks, you know, when the boys are home. Or she tries to really for me, but she wasn't going to be there that day. So she had Blanca cook a meal.
How is your relationship with Maggie?
Very good. As good as it could possibly be. I mean, you know, we had our issues, but wonderful.
And I'm just trying to understand the family dynamic.
I understand you got to do what you got to do, I promise.
What was y'all's biggest arguments? What your biggest the things that y'all would argue about the most, what would they be over?
I mean, we really didn't argue, but I'd say really the only thing that caused any friction between us is she was always wanting us to go. And I love her in-laws. I mean, they're wonderful people. I love them to death. She was always wanting to go there, stay there a little longer than me and the boys wanted to stay. That was really, and it really, you know, she'd get ticked off.
Yeah.
You mean her family? You said her in-laws. You mean her family?
I mean her family.
Your in-laws.
I mean, we really didn't argue about much. We didn't have much to argue about. I mean,
Y'all ain't had much to argue about, but somehow you on trial for killing him.
I'm sure there was an occasional thing that came up that we argued about, but I can't tell you what it is. I can't think of it.
Well, obviously he ain't gonna tell them that though. He ain't gonna tell them they been fighting and all that.
Yeah. Take your time. Good. Just tissue.
I'm sorry.
Good.
I mean, she was a wonderful girl and a wonderful wife. And she was a great mom. She, you know, she didn't work. And she always said it was her job since she was privileged enough not to work. She was going to make sure she took care of me and the boys. And I mean, she did everything. She did absolutely everything. I'm sorry.
No, you have every right to do that.
I'm good. You go ahead.
I think that was him feeling bad because he knows she probably was a good woman or something, and you feel me? He killed her. So you know what I'm saying? That's him feeling bad for that probably.
Afternoon or during the time you and Paul were right.
Yes, sir.
Did y'all go up to around the kennels or anything? Did y'all do anything up toward the kennels?
I'm sure we did. You know, that's our main shop is, right there. But, we're normally in there for long times tinkering, and I will say that particular day, we did not tinker around there a bunch, you know?
When y'all rode around the farm, what were y'all in the truck or?
Well, we were actually in 2 trucks. We rode in one truck, and then we rode in another truck some. One was the black one, and one was the white one that was out there.
Mr. Alex,
Yes, sir.
you know, the other day when we were there, we came in and we were talking with John a little bit.
Sure.
And you obviously got a lot of, I say a lot, you said 20 or 25.
Police showing a lot of respect for this man. Even though, you know what I'm saying, I think that they know he got something to do with it.
Yes, sir.
And do you know kind of what you got as far as any kind of, what kind of weapons you may have?
Pretty much, yes, sir.
I know you might not want them all, but can you kind of run down what you, as far as kind of what you had, what you got, you got there?
That I own or that's in there now?
That you are.
That I
It's
own.
in there, or wherever they're at.
And, Paul has guns scattered all over the place. So, some of our guns aren't there. But, so you want to know all of them, or you want to know what I think is in my house? Or what was in my house on Monday?
Yeah, what was in your house? Let's start with what was in your house on Monday.
Okay, whatever was in my house on Monday is exactly what was there, minus one shotgun that y'all got.
Okay.
No guns have been moved for, there hadn't been any guns moved in and out of there other than when Paul was home. When Paul came home, he would ride around and shoot hogs a lot. Primarily he would shoot them with Buster's gun. Because Paul had a 300 Blackout.
Okay.
And it got, he says it got stolen. And it's been gone for some time. But anyway, so he would use his brother's Blackout a lot of times.
So Buster also had a 300?
I gave them both one.
Okay. When was that?
Wow. Years ago.
Okay. More than a year ago,
More than a year ago.
Okay.
All right, so but he would do anything. Paul had this, like a little light that I used that night. Paul would take that thing up to, by 308, and he was always rigging something. So sometimes shotguns when he would go try to kill the hogs, because the piglets would be grouped up, but normally he would have a rifle when he went to shoot the pigs. So, all right, so going back to the guns, y'all want me to tell y'all what was in there? Don't y'all, have an inventory?
I videoed the thing. I didn't write down everything that you had. I just took a random, just like a recording of what was on the gun rack or on the gun wall in the gun room that day.
And there are some more guns that aren't in that gun room, I don't know how many, but,
Okay.
you know, like, I do know there's a shotgun in my bedroom.
And I think Miss Katie, Agent Katie, walked with John and saw that one.
Okay. And I imagine there's probably some in some other rooms. I know that, I think it was we have two gun cases, one small one and one big one, and I moved some guns from the little case to the big case just because, you know, her mom and dad were in there, and I just took all the guns to the back room. But that's after the fact.
Would those guns have been in the room, in the gun room when we came up there with John?
I can't remember exactly when y'all came, but probably. I think y'all came a little bit, because it was a good while before y'all came.
Yeah, it was probably 2 o'clock or so that afternoon before we got here.
Now, did y'all keep any guns out at the kennels?
We didn't keep guns out there, but there were always guns out there.
Okay.
You know? I mean, and I'm gonna be honest with you, we were all a little bit bad about it, but Paul was the worst. You know, he was the worst.
He would leave a gun out there?
He would leave anything, anywhere. And, you know, it was not unusual for there to be guns out there.
Did y'all take the,
But, like, I can tell you that, I mean, they told me that 300 blackout was used in this. That 300 blackout, you know, it was not out there.
so y'all didn't use that for target practice, or he didn't have it out there with him on Monday?
No.
Okay, no, that's right, because it was in the house. So Paul said that one was stolen or lost, and it was some time ago. Was that reported anywhere?
And it wasn't officially reported because I wasn't totally convinced it was stolen.
Okay.
You know, as opposed to lost. But I mean, you know, there was people told about it.
Yeah.
I know that I told John Bedingfield about it. I know that I told some other local officers about it, you know, just in case it turned up in a drug thing.
Okay.
But I didn't do an official report.
Okay.
The two that you bought for the boys, that each one of them had one, and the one Paul lost, is that the only ones that you had?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I thought that Paul got another one replaced, but Buster said we didn't. But I was certain that we did. But, I mean, my memory is it's been gone for a substantial while, too.
Do you remember anything about them as far as were they the same colors?
They were identical except for color.
So we're just gonna go to the official interrogation inside the police building,
Recyclable just like paper.
and then we're gonna see what that's about. Cause they ain't really asking him no questions that I want to ask. So I know the question that y'all want to hear too. So we gonna.
Thanks. I'm sorry, Judge. One of the jurors is requesting. Who's down to your right? Jeff Cross. Raise that hand in the back.
Yes, sir.
Okay. indicates 9:50. Your time was incorrect on our recording system. But my notes, my report indicates it was approximately 11 and 9 a.m.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Judge, who won the jurors?
This is pretty easy because the Allison was here and I thought that was walk on the other side.
I know we've got an inset.
All right. Alec, I appreciate you coming in today. I know we got a lot to talk about. You have millions of questions. But before we get started with your questions, this has been going on for over 2 months, and we've done a lot of work. I know you have. And I've got some more questions that I need to get clarifications on. Sure. Okay. So we'll start with that.
Wait a minute.
Yes, sir.
Maybe I'm mistaken. I thought we were coming here so you can update him on what's going on.
And I intend to do that.
Okay, let's do that first.
Okay.
Let's do that first.
The update is I'm doing the investigation, and I have some questions that I would like some answers to. And I mean, certainly, if I ask the question, if you don't want to answer, you don't have to answer it.
No, I'm fine with that.
I mean, it's more clarifications of the 2 interviews you've already given me.
Totally understand.
Okay.
Just wait 1 second.
Yeah.
Wait 1 second. All right. I need for you to tell me, are you going to give us information, or are we just here for you to ask questions?
Now, I'm going to give you some information.
Right. Why can't you give us information first?
Some of the information that you're asking about are in my questions. And as we go through, you'll see.
Okay.
I don't mind. I don't
I know
mind.
you don't, but I can't. I mean, I'm a friend, but I'm also a lawyer, and I like to know what we do. I like to understand what we're talking about. You know, I need you to answer this question. Are you asking him questions to further your investigation, or are you asking him questions because you think that he's a suspect? I need a straight answer.
I am asking these questions to further my investigation.
Does that mean that you're not asking him these questions as a suspect? Does it?
Good. Say.
Because I'm not comfortable with you asking him questions as a suspect when I came here with the thought that you were going to be telling him where you are in the investigation, what it is you've done, seen, uncovered, whatever. That's why we came here.
Well, let me respond to your question. It may not be a direct answer that you're looking for. And I've told Alec this when we first met. Any homicide investigation.
Hey, his lawyer ain't. Yeah, he sound like he ain't bullshit.
With the closest person and or the person who found the deceased. In both cases, that's Alec. Everybody stays in that investigation until we can get them out. And right now, because of the questions that I have that I needed explanations for, I cannot get Alec out.
Okay. That's a reasonable statement. I don't have a problem with that statement. That's fine. I don't read it, but everybody in the United States of America has an opinion on this case.
Mm-hmm.
And because I know everybody, I know it's a bunch of bullshit. I can't imagine that y'all are going to be asking about nonsense in the internet.
No. I mean, just like
like you, I'm aware of what's out there. I have not read every article. I don't care to read every article because they're not doing the investigation.
That's
I am.
That's right. That's right. All right, well, you know, Elliot, if you're comfortable, you feel okay.
Yes.
Then that's fine. And I'm
Anything to help.
all right, that's fine.
So I'm gonna go back to Monday morning. And you went to the office.
Okay.
What time did you go to the office? Who was at your house when you left? And what time did you go to the office?
We had been to a ball game that weekend. I don't remember exactly what time. It would have been somewhere between 8:30 and 9:30, probably 10 o'clock maybe at the latest, something like that.
And when I ask about time, I'm not saying, it was 5:11 or something like that. I just,
Totally
I need
understand.
ballpark,
That's
as close as you can get to it.
And if you need to know exactly when, there would be a keypad that would tell when exactly I went in my office that I can get for you.
Okay.
So
So you got a key fob to get in your office?
a card.
A card.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But, you know, a little bit, it was probably a little bit on the later side of that. I guess I know Maggie got up early to get out of there because she had an appointment in Charleston. I just don't remember if I left right after she did or I fiddled around.
But, and I already know that Paul stayed at John Marvin's that night, so it was just you and Maggie at the house.
That's correct.
And I know when you were at the office, you were working on motions, and some of those motions you dealt with were for Paul's, the boat accident, or the boat case.
I'm not really doing the legal work.
I understand, but,
So,
you're Paul's dad, you're a lawyer, you're definitely gonna know what's going on.
yeah.
So what were those motions? Did it deal with Parker's, or was it the actual boat accident, or?
It was the civil case.
What time did you leave and get home?
Earlier than normal. I'd say 5:30.
When you left the office?
Sir.
What time did Paul get home that night?
Me and Paul got there about the same time. Maybe he was a little bit later than me, or maybe a little bit earlier than me, but it was close to the same time.
And y'all rode around the farm. I believe you said 2 different trucks, or 2 different vehicles.
So,
What were those 2 different vehicles?
we rode in the white pickup truck, and we rode in the black pickup truck.
In either one of those, did you see any long guns? Take your time.
It's okay.
Did you see any rifles and shotguns?
I don't remember seeing any that day, no. We did have pistols.
Yeah, because you said you went to target practice.
Well, not really target practice.
Yeah, just shoot. Yeah.
We rode around for a couple hours, just looked at everything. All the stuff Paul did on the farm. And, we just spent, time together. I'm sorry.
No, that's all on.
Hey, you can do this? I can the sunflowers because we was worried about the sunflowers. And that was the first thing we looked at. And we just rode. We just rode and looked at. I mean, we hadn't done it in a while. We just rode, talked, and rode, talked.
What you talk about?
Everything, you know, just one of the main things, he'd been having trouble, his feet had swelled up, and we were worried about blood pressure and stress on him, and I mean, he handled all this stuff so amazingly, but I mean, we were just so worried about it. But I mean, we talked about that, we talked about the farm, we just talked about everything.
Has Paul been seeing a doctor for his feet?
No, sir.
We're not trying to get him to go.
Trying to get him to go.
And he was resistant.
Yeah, he had been resistant, but much less so after his feet swelled up. I mean, he'd been having all kind of little problems, but much less after his feet swelled up.
Because as parents, I'm sure you and Maggie stayed on him about going. How did he respond to you?
To going out,
Going to the doctor.
he didn't.
When y'all talked about it.
He's very resistant. Very, very resistant. I mean, we talked to him about seeing a doctor, about the stresses of everything with the boat wreck. He didn't think he needed to do that. I mean, we tried to watch him really closely.
I really wonder what well, it really don't matter, but I guess he kind of explained it a little bit to me why he killed his son. Basically, you know, he was kind of irresponsible, incompetent. I don't say incompetent, but he suffered from something. He said he had some type of disease or something.
He was resistant.
What time did Maggie get back on that night?
Later. I'd say probably the best I can tell, a couple hours after after we got there.
When you and Paul returned back to the house, was Maggie there?
I can't remember if Maggie came by the shed when Paul and I were up there, or if we met her at the house. But, you know, it's not unusual for her, if we're messing around, for her to swing through up there.
Mm-hmm.
So Maggie was supposed to be coming home. I've since found out she was worried about me, and me worried about my dad, and so she came home.
So at that point in the interview, she said, did he tell you she came home because she was worried about his dad?
Yes.
Basis for the objection.
Leading, he just repeating what the jury just heard on video.
Yes, sir.
No, I can play it and come back and ask him to clarify that.
So they playing this interview during his trial. I guess it's the only one that was available.
The man was supposed to be coming home. I've since found out she was worried about me, and me worried about my dad, and so she came home.
Where was she going to stay that night?
At Edison. We were having work done down there. And I wasn't 100%, but it's pretty well she was going to stay at Edison.
So what kind of surprised you that she came back?
That didn't totally surprise me. She'd let me know earlier that she was coming home. But then I found out later why she came home.
She was concerned for you.
Sir? after that. Blanca made dinner. And so the three of us ate dinner together.
What was the conversation around the dinner table?
No. Regular stuff. I mean, I can't tell you exactly, but
How was Maggie's appointment in Charleston that day?
I think it had gone good. We didn't really get the chance to talk about it in detail. She's been having a couple little medical issues. I can't even remember which one. It wasn't anything huge. I can't remember exactly which one she went for.
And after dinner, Maggie and Paul went to the kennels, or?
And I don't know exactly how that went. I stayed on the couch and I dozed off. And then I got up.
Did you watch TV that night?
I know the TV was, I believe the TV was on. But I wasn't watching it.
Stop right there, please. I'm not going to repeat that, but this next question, regarding a tree video, had you confronted him with that before?
No, sir, I had not.
Okay, please go ahead.
There's a video on Paul's phone of you and him on the farm that night. And you were in khaki pants and a dress shirt. You were playing with a tree.
I don't remember playing with a tree.
Yeah. I guess there was a tree sapling or something that had fallen over or bending over, and you were trying to get it to stand up. But I mean, the question in that is, when I met you that night, you were in shorts and a t-shirt. At what point in that evening did you change clothes?
I'm not sure. It would have been
Before dinner or after dinner?
No, it would have been. What time of day was that? I would have thought I had already changed.
There's not a time.
Damn, they caught him up. His son had a video of them together, and he had some different clothes on when everything went down. He didn't even know his son even had a video of him. That's probably what got him.
Now, what time that picture was?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
I was down on it because there's so many posts. But I want to say it looks to be about dusk. So that would have been 7:30, 8 o'clock.
I guess that changed when I got back to the house.
Earlier when we spoke, and you talked about waking up from your nap and then going to check on your mother. And you tried to call Maggie, and you tried to call Paul, and then you sent Maggie a text that you were going to check on your mother. You also told me that Maggie didn't normally go with you to check on your mother, but that she might ride that night. Did you go by and check on her?
Go by and check on my mom?
Maggie, before you left to go?
No, I didn't.
With her not responding to you and thinking that she might ride with you, why didn't you?
I don't remember having plans that Maggie was going to ride with me. But maybe she had told me that she was that night. I don't recall that. I don't remember that specifically, but it wasn't. She didn't normally go with me. I mean, it's not like we had plans that she would
from Moselle to your mom's?
I would have gone to right on Moselle Road, 63, into Barnville, turn left on the road, right before 278, 601, and then in front of the school, turn right. That's how I believe I would have.
Shit, right on Mobile to 63.
Yes, sir. Right on Moselle. The normal way is right on Moselle to Dobson Road.
Okay.
Dobson Road to 63. 63 into Barnville. Left on whatever the road is that goes to the school. Right. And then either 63 or left on the road that goes down and then on 63.
How often did you go visit your mother that night?
I mean, it wasn't infrequent. It wasn't all the time. I mean, visit her, all times a day.
Checking on her, especially with your dad being sorry.
She had been having a day, particularly, she's got Alzheimer's really bad, or pretty bad. And she had been particularly agitated. With him not being there and checked on her more in the days and weeks following my dad's passing, and otherwise, but several times a week, any time.
How long would you say you were at your mom's that night?
45 minutes an hour.
Had you talked to Shelley Smith at this point?
He said, I want to help. They asking him about all these questions about how long you was at your mom's and all that. He know dang well they looking at him as a suspect.
Yes, I had not spoken with her by that time. Yes, sir.
Please go.
You know, took her back home. Making the stops on the way.
On the way there.
On the way to your mom's work and you return trip back home.
Stops. I didn't go anywhere. I went straight there. I did not. No, sir.
And earlier in the day when you were down at that shed in kennels with Paul, did y'all discuss any injuries to any dogs?
Did he and I? No, but Roland Gibson told me about the dog's tail. And somebody saying his leg was broken.
Stop it. Which one was his dog?
You turn up Mr. Orange's volume?
Yeah.
Yes. Or turn up the volume.
did he and I, but Rogan Gibson told me about the dog's tail, and somebody saying his leg was broken.
So right here in the interview, your question was, did Paul tell you that? So did he deny that he had a conversation with Paul about that?
He never said he had a conversation.
What if anything, did he say about whether he'd had a conversation with Paul about that?
He didn't indicate that he had a conversation with Paul. He said he had a conversation with Rogan. Yes, sir.
Said he'd heard that from Rogan?
Yes, sir.
Which one's his dog?
It's a chocolate puppy, I think.
Was the leg broken?
Not that I know of.
I can certainly see why something might be wrong with his tail, because when I was out there, he was chasing his tail and looking through the fence and trying to grab it. That was puppy energy. When you got back to Moselle, which driveway did you go?
I went in the brick gates.
And Maggie and Paul weren't there. Were there vehicles at the house?
Yes, sir.
How did they get down there that night?
Still, I was hoping you were going to be able to tell me that.
The only thing that I can come up with is that black truck. Is that Buster's old black truck?
Yes, sir.
Does it normally stay down at the farm, or does it stay in the house?
Both.
Did Maggie ever walk down there?
Maggie walked down there a lot. But Paul, I mean, it just, you showed me some proof that Paul walked down there that night.
So I feel like his whole interrogation video gonna kind of be not really interesting because he's a lawyer, so he's not really gonna say too much. So we just gotta see what happened with the trial, man. And then when we get a verdict, we'll come back and we'll react to that. Like, subscribe, do all that.